I shall not seek and I will not accept the nomination of my party for another term as your president.
Turning point, 1968. A televised announcement shocks the nation. President Johnson, consumed by the Vietnam War and its accompanying unrest at home, decides not to run for a second term as president. The Democratic National Convention was 4 months away, and at that moment the party was without a clear frontrunner for president. You had George Wallace, the Southerner who symbolized resistance to racial change in America, running as a third-party candidate. Eugene McCarthy, the staunch anti-war candidate with a strong grassroots following who had started in New Hampshire. Also in the Democratic Party, Bobby Kennedy, the heir apparent to his brother's dynasty. And with Johnson's departure, Vice President Hubert Humphrey announcing his candidacy. The Democratic Party was split, and Republicans did not miss the opportunity.
Tonight, I again proudly accept that nomination for President of the United States.
Just as they did in 1960, the GOP had placed their presidential hopes on Richard Nixon. But by the summer of 1968, the Democrats had regained footing, and Bobby Kennedy began to pull ahead of the pack. But that would all change on the evening of June 5th, 1968. After securing a crucial victory in the California primary, Bobby Kennedy returned to his campaign headquarters in Los Angeles.
My thanks to all of you, and now it's on to Chicago, and let's win there. Thank you very much.
Moments later, he was shot in the head.
Oh, my God. Senator Kennedy has been shot.
Bobby Kennedy's death stunned the nation and left the Democratic Party numb and divided. Chicago, 1968. Protest overshadowed politics at the Democratic National Convention. NBC News anchors Chet Huntley and David Brinkley took to the airwaves as anti-war protesters and police clashed in the streets, and the convention itself descended into chaos.
The Chicago police are now in the aisles here with billy clubs, clearing people out. They're not using them on people, they're carrying them, and they're dragging everybody right out of the aisle here. It's a terrific crush.
Hubert Humphrey won the Democratic nomination, but with the convention marked by disorder, the party was tarnished. Nixon saw this as an opportunity to energize his base.
When the nation with the greatest tradition of the rule of law is plagued by unprecedented lawlessness, when a nation has been known for a century for equality of opportunity is torn by unprecedented racial violence, and when the President of the United States cannot travel abroad or to any major city at home without fear of a hostile demonstration, then it's time for new leadership for the United States of America.
Nixon's emphasis on law and order helped him narrowly beat Humphrey in the November election.
Nixon's the one. That's the natural banner for any sprightly front page tonight.
With the 1968 election so tight, it was clear the nation remained deeply divided, and Richard Nixon would attempt to bring reconciliation to the damaged country.
And that will be the great objective of this administration at the outset, to bring the American people together. This will be an open administration, open to new ideas, open to men and women of both parties, open to the critics as well as those who support us.
For more on the election of 1968, including full speeches and parts of NBC's broadcast from election night, browse through the playlist on the left. Also, be sure to check back soon for another political turning point, Nixon's landslide re-election in 1972. I'm Tom Brokaw.